Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're gonna pry open that black box. The technology that's literally living in our pockets. We're gonna break down how it all works, not to scare you, but to hand you the instruction manual. Because really, understanding the system is the absolute first step to taking back control and unlocking your own digital agency.
So let me ask you this. You ever get that feeling that your phone is kind of playing you? You know the drill. You pick it up for just a second, maybe to check one little thing, and then suddenly 45 minutes have vanished. You come up for air from this deep scroll hole, and you're just wondering, where did that time go? It happens to all of us, and believe me, it is not an accident. It's by design.
So to really get this, we have to start with the basic business model of the whole digital world. Let's just call it the attention game. And the rules? They're pretty simple, but boy, do they have a huge effect on how we deal with our screens. Just take a look at this comparison here. A book, right? It's got a last page. A movie has credits roll at the end. They're designed with something called a stopping rule, a totally natural ending. But a social media feed or a video stream? That's a bottomless pit, and it's built that way on purpose. There is no final chapter, and that takes away the natural cue for our brain to go, okay, cool, I'm done now.
And that just leads to the obvious question. If the goal isn't to get you to some kind of conclusion, then what is the goal? I mean, why would you build something that literally never ends?
Well, it's because in this world of free apps, you're not actually the customer. Your attention is the product that's being sold. The more seconds, minutes, and yeah, hours you spend staring at that screen, the more chances they have to show you ads. Your focus, that's the real currency that keeps this entire economy running. And they have ways to keep you spending that currency using these really powerful psychological hooks. One of the biggest is called variable rewards. It's basically the slot machine effect. Think about it. You don't pull the lever because you know you'll win. You pull it because you might win. It's the same thing with your phone. You don't check it because you know you have a great notification. You check it on the chance that you might have one. That little bit of possibility, that's the hook. Okay, so let's dive into this next part. We've talked about the why. Now let's get into the how. Because if you really want to gain some control, you've got to understand the player on the other side of the screen. We need to decode the machine. First off, what even is AI? Let's use a super simple analogy. A toaster. That's automation. You set it for 2 minutes, it toasts for 2 minutes. Every single time. It just follows one fixed rule. But an AI, like a self-driving car, that's different. It adapts. It sees a red light, it stops. It sees a person in the crosswalk, it slows down. It's constantly changing its behavior based on new data. And the apps on your phone, they work a lot more like that car than the toaster. And this adapting thing, it happens through what's called a recommendation engine. And it's not magic, it's just really, really powerful pattern matching. So every time you like something, or comment, or skip a video, or even rewatch it, you're giving it an input. The AI then zips through its network to find thousands of other people who made the exact same inputs. These are your digital twins. And then it just serves you their outputs, the very next thing that they happen to like. So it's not reading your mind, it's just making a really good guess that you'll like what your digital twins liked. And the way it learns your patterns is from the data you feed it, which is, well, pretty much everything. You've got active data, that's the stuff you choose to share, like a comment or a photo. But then you've got passive data, all that invisible information your phone is just collecting in the background, like your GPS location or how long you paused on a picture, or even how fast you were walking. It's all just food for the AI. Now, I know this might be sounding a little intimidating, right? Like we're up against some kind of perfect, all-knowing machine. But we're not. And here's the key. Understanding the flaws, the cracks in the code, that's where our power really comes from. So a huge flaw is something called representational bias. You see, an AI doesn't have life experience. It doesn't have common sense. Its entire worldview is built from the data we train it on. So if that data is lopsided or incomplete, the AI's idea of reality is going to be lopsided too. This example here really gets to the heart of it. If you train an AI on a data set where almost all the pictures of doctors are men, the AI doesn't learn a rule that doctors are men. What it learns is to connect the label doctor with the feature man. It builds a statistical model that says, hey, when I see these features, there's a super high chance the right answer is doctor. This makes it way less accurate when it sees a doctor who doesn't fit that narrow pattern, all because its original training data was flawed. It all boils down to a classic saying in computer science, garbage in, garbage out. The quality of what an AI produces,
its decisions, its recommendations, its creations, it all completely depends on the quality of the data we put into it. It's basically a mirror of its inputs, flaws and all. And listen, there are other cracks too. Generative AI can hallucinate. That means it can literally just invent facts out of thin air. Some of these complex systems are black boxes, which means even the engineers who built them can't fully explain why a certain decision was made. And then, on top of all that, you have corporate secrecy, where companies keep their algorithms under lock and key, so we have no idea what math is being used to sort our lives. This is not some perfect, all-powerful system. Okay, let's move on and see how this all connects to the most important takeaway here. All this knowledge about the attention game, how the machine learns, its biases, its flaws, it isn't just interesting trivia. It's the foundation for you to go from being a passive user to an active agent. Agency, that's the word. It's that shift in your mindset when you realize that knowing how this whole thing works gives you the power to use it on your own terms. I mean, you can't win a game if you don't even know the rules, but now you're starting to see the rulebook. So, how do we actually put all this knowledge into practice? Well, that brings us to our final section, a simple but really powerful framework for taking action. It's called the Digital Wellbeing Pledge. Now, the idea here isn't to get you to throw your phone in a river. It's about making a personal, conscious choice to switch from mindless scrolling to intentional use. It's about you setting your own rules for the game. This pledge is built on 3 pillars. First up, data. This is all about you making conscious rules about what you share, deciding what food you're going to feed the AI. A rule could be something simple like, I'll turn off location services for any app that doesn't absolutely need it. Second, we've got time. This is where you set boundaries to push back against that endless scroll. A practical rule here might be, no phones at the dinner table, or I'm setting a 20-minute timer whenever I open a social media app. And the third pillar is truth. This means creating your own rules for how you check the information you see, especially since you now know that AI can hallucinate and algorithms can build echo chambers. Your rule could be as simple as, I will always find a second source before sharing a surprising news story. Look, this is not about a massive, overnight life change. It's about starting with one small, intentional choice. You have the knowledge now. You've got the framework. The only thing left to do is decide. So what's your first rule going to be?